Do you know the definition of insanity? A quote often misattributed to Albert Einstein is that insanity is doing the same thing repeatedly and expecting different results. Does that sound remotely or vaguely familiar to you? Recently, many people seem to be promoting and recommending the Vero app, saying that this is the only app that you need, the Instagram killer, the solution to all of your problems. And please, before we continue, I would like to say that I dislike Instagram as much as any other photographer or creator out there. So, if something new comes along, then great. But the question is this really the Instagram killer or just another insanity loop? Let me put it this way. What if the problem is not the apps themselves, but the users? Hi friends, welcome back. If you are new here, my name is Jorge. On this channel, we talk about photography and filmmaking, merging creativity and productivity to live a fulfilling life. And in today's video, we are talking about Vero. I joined this app a couple of weeks ago and have not told anybody here on YouTube or Instagram. I just wanted to see what the experience is like, and I do have a couple of key takeaways. Some of these points are from the perspective of a photographer or a creator, and some of these other points are from the perspective of a junior developer as well. Let's get started. The premise is simple. A social network focused on community, meaning no ads and no content jammed down your throat. In theory, this sounds pretty good, and that is what you'll hear most people focus on. But in practice, things are quite different. And the reason is the sum of many small things or items. Some of these things come from the app itself, and some of these other things come from the users. Let's dive a little deeper here. The app does have features that I really like, and features alone do not make a product worth it, but in this case the features are worth mentioning and in some cases praising over. Things like being able to upload a higher resolution image. When you tap on your image, it goes full screen and it shows the full resolution file. That's cool. Then when you're in full screen mode, you can tilt your smartphone and get a landscape view of your work. That's also cool. Being able to sort between different types of contents like photos or videos. It's a good way to filter what you want to see and what you don't want to see. That's also cool. It doesn't have a feed to blast you with ads and random dancing videos that you don't want to watch, but more on this later. These are cool features to have, and I'm really glad that they exist. But the experience of using the app is the most significant thing that we can talk about. One of the key selling points is that there is no algorithm, no feed if you will. But this in turn makes it a real hassle to actually find creators that you like and photos or videos that you want to watch. People really dislike the Instagram feed. In my case, it keeps showing ads and reels of people dancing regardless of what my preferences are, what my search history is, and what I really want to see. But the feed itself is not the problem. The way that the feed is implemented is the issue here, and nothing makes it more obvious than removing the feed completely. Let me show you what I mean. Let's say that I want to see great street photographs and find great photographers as well. Well, the first thing we notice is that there is no dedicated photography pill or button. There is a pill for literally every single category except photography. Alright. If we swipe here, we can see this photography category, except it's just a blog post telling you that the best way to find or discover images and people is using the specific hashtag that apply to your craft. And to me, this is odd. I'm not just talking as a photographer, but also as a developer. Who thought this was good UI or UX design? Who thought this was intuitive? Let's keep going. So we do exactly what the app is telling us to do. We tap on the street photography hashtag, we start exploring, and we quickly notice this. Is this a street photograph? What about this? Or this one right here? We are seeing people moving from Instagram and just copying a huge block of text, in this case the hashtags, and just posting it on Vero, regardless of whether these are accurate or not. To be clear, to me, life is not a zero-sum game. I don't win by putting other people down. I'm not attacking anybody, and personally, I don't care what you do or what you post. I'm not the hashtag police. But this is the only way to find what you want to find. And we have to remember that a lot of people are mad about Instagram. They dislike the app, and they dislike the behavior of the users as well, but then they move to Vero and behave the exact same way, and it makes no sense. Most of the posts don't have a caption or short message or anything at all, empty or a block of 30 hashtags. Let me show you one of my posts. A short sentence that encapsulates the feeling of the image and another sentence with hashtags that might be valuable or useful for people to either learn or find the actual image. I'm not saying that I'm right for doing this. I'm not saying that everybody should have to do this. I'm not saying that this is the only way to go. No, you shouldn't have to write anything down if you don't want to or have to explain or defend your work. But remember, most videos keep repeating the same thing over and over again. Community. So you would think that if you want to build a community of like-minded people, you would write something, and if that helps people or inspires them or engages them, then they would be more likely to respond to your content, to subscribe, to join your community, and to be part of it. So as you can see, it's a combination of how the app is telling you to navigate it and use it, and also how the users are behaving as well. If you are a working creator, most of the brand and businesses that you're dealing with are not part of this app yet. And this really limits the potential of companies seeing and sharing your work. A quick and silly example is your favorite camera manufacturers liking your post, or a creator reaching out and saying hi, or getting words of encouragement from the platform you use the most. These are very small details in the scheme of things. These don't really change my life in any significant way. But it feels good to know that there is a potential to have a connection or a possibility to reach out people like that passively. However, the same cannot be said from people that work professionally, like a wedding photographer or a product photographer that really depend on Instagram to reach out to clients and brands and things like that. This is not a small feature, this is not a minor thing, it's their livelihood. And to be fair, these things always happen with new platforms and services. It takes time to get up to speed, but Vero is not new. It's been around for over 6 or 7 years now, so I'm not really sure why it feels like a beta. The UI design is not polished, the UX design is not intuitive, and the location services are not really as good as I would like. I tried posting some of my photographs from Japan, and I wanted to be able to pinpoint the exact location that I was in this case a coffee shop, but Vero cannot find the specific place. I typed it in English and Japanese just to make sure perhaps it was a typo, perhaps it was a language thing, but it did not find it. The exact same photo posted on Instagram worked, and the location services were pretty accurate, so keep that in mind. This is a term often used by investors, developers, and startups, but to really simplify it, it means value proposition. What is the value proposition of the company you're trying to create? The value proposition of the services you're offering? The value proposition of the app you're developing? What is the point of using the app? What problems are you solving? And to be honest, compared to tried and true formulas and the problems solved in the past, I don't really know what is the product market fit of Vero. There are signs that they want to integrate services that generate money, and this in turn will allow them to be profitable without selling ads and without selling personal data, allegedly. This could be lots of things, like taking a small percentage of the sales of the creators on their pages, like Gumroad for example, or having a subscription fee, a membership fee, and potentially cut down on spam accounts and bots accounts as well. And although those are valid options, I don't see the value proposition. The app is not fun to use. There is a disconnect between what they want, which is community, and the actual everyday experience of using the app. If you think there's not a lot of people using the app now, imagine the moment they implement a subscription and now you have to pay to use it. I don't understand what is the product market fit of Vero. And listen, I'm not an angel investor, I'm not Warren Buffett, I'm not Naval Ravikant. I could be wrong. In fact, I really hope that I am wrong. The more competition there is out there, the more effort these companies have to put in to stand out, and the more the end user benefits from it. But as of right now, Vero just feels like a zero-sum game to me. I'll keep my profile just a little longer just to see what happens. I don't really lose anything by just keeping it and having it there. But if you want to share yours, and if you want to add other people to actually post photographs and enjoy photography, then you can do so in the comments below. As always, I'm curious to know what you think. Have you created a profile yet? Do you enjoy using the app? Share your thoughts in a comment down below. But that is it for today's video. If you found this video helpful or valuable, then please like and subscribe, follow me on Instagram, and join my free newsletter as well. Thank you very much for watching, for giving me your time and your energy, and good luck with your creative process.